This video is brought to you by Ubisoft. More on that later. Raise your hand if you've ever been personally victimized by the Skull Cavern in Stardew Valley. I know. It happens to the best of us. If you love cozy gaming but are a little bit afraid of intense combat situations like Skull Cavern in Stardew Valley, then you, my friend, are entitled to compensation. I'm kidding, but you are in the right place. Because I too was in the same boat of being way too scared of the Stardew Valley mines in general that I would literally never go alone. But now, mining is genuinely my favorite part of Stardew Valley. The children yearn for the mines. It's me. I'm the children. And with the 1.6 update, there are some new tips and strategies that you need to know in order to have a successful Skull Cavern run. So allow me to teach you the ways to overcome your fear of Skull Cavern, because once you get the hang of it, it's actually so much fun. This video will be split into 3 parts: preparation, survival, and new 1.6 strategies. So if you're a more experienced player, feel free to jump to whatever timestamp you would like, or just stick around and watch the whole thing. You never know, you might learn some new tips and tricks that you weren't aware of. I've been playing Stardew Valley since 2017, and I'm still learning new things about the game to this day. So without any further ado, here's the official Cozy Gamer's Guide to Skull Cavern in Stardew Valley. Before we get into preparation, let's take a brief moment to talk about today's sponsor, Growtopia. Growtopia is a free-to-play 2D pixel sandbox MMO that allows you to be anyone and create anything. You can grow items from trees and use those items to build worlds and customize your character. And I, for one, am a sucker for an MMO game with a customizable character. In Growtopia, millions of accounts are playing together on the same server, allowing you to chat and trade with everyone. Try out all kinds of activities like fishing, surgery, and pet battling. This July, Growtopia is holding its biggest event of the year, Summerfest, where all Growtopians can lay back on the beach and enjoy the fireworks. This is the only time of the year where you can obtain the highly sought after Phoenix and Neptune items and over 40 exclusive Summerfest items, like the Phoenix Mantle, Beach Aura, Seaside Sun Hat, Ultraviolet Wings, and even a weather machine that will turn your world into Atlantis. So gather your summer surprises and test your luck. Nice, I got a Neptune! Growtopia is available on Android, iOS, PC, Steam, and Ubisoft Connect. If you download the game via the link in my bio and redeem my code GTSFMRIZ2024, you will receive a handful of free summer surprises to open and test your luck, plus monthly events just like this one that bring new items and content to explore. Download the game now to join this year's Summerfest in Growtopia before it's too late. And now, back to the video. First things first, preparation. This is honestly the most important part of any successful Skull Cavern run. If you don't have the necessary items for a deep dive, your Skull Cavern trips will be a lot harder than they need to be. To begin, you'll need a gold or iridium pickaxe and your best sword. If you happen to have stumbled upon a prismatic shard prior to your Skull Cavern deep dives, be sure to take it to the 3 pillars in the desert to get your hands on the galaxy sword. But if you don't have a prismatic shard, Skull Cavern is the best place to get one. So here are some other swords that you can get by with in the meantime. Unlocking the galaxy sword will also allow you to buy other types of galaxy weapons from Gil. Lots of people prefer the hammer over the sword, but I prefer the speed of the sword, so I stick with that one personally. For food, I like to stock up on gold cheese. Gold cheese is super easy to stock up on and gives you a quick and easy way to fill up your energy bar right away. I also like to bring a snack that doesn't fill your energy bar all the way up, just in case you need a little extra boost but don't want to waste an entire cheese. In the past, I would bring a stack of salmon berries or blackberries, but the new 1.6 seasonal crops work great for this. Another super important food to bring with you is spicy eel. Spicy eel gives you 7 minutes of +1 luck and +1 speed. The most reliable way to get spicy eels is to trade them for rubies at the Desert Trader. Some of her stock does rotate depending on the day, but she is always selling spicy eels. The Desert Trader is your best friend for Skull Cavern runs. Some other resources that you'll want to stock up on for trading are jades, diamonds, quartz, and omni geodes. You can trade staircases for jades on Sundays. Staircases are important for getting yourself out of sticky situations like a serpent swarm or infested areas. Diamonds can be used to trade for triple shot espressos any day of the week. Drinking triple shot espressos gives you a +1 speed boost, and it stacks with your spicy eel speed boost, so you will be speedy as hell, which is important for outrunning enemies. 5 quartz can be traded for 1 bomb any day of the week. Before the 1.6 update, the strat was to buy bombs from the dwarf and the regular mines. But in this latest update, the price of bombs has gone up by a lot. I still buy a handful of bombs here and there when I have the extra gold, but most of the time in 1.6 it's better to craft or trade for bombs. The easiest way to stock up on these gems is by crafting crystallariums. Crystallariums will endlessly duplicate any gem that you insert into the machine, besides prismatic shards. So I like to have a good handful of crystallariums going at all times, stocked with jades, rubies, diamonds, and quartz inside. 3 Omni Geodes can also be traded at the desert trader for desert warp totems, so that you can get a head start in the mines because you don't have to wait for Pam's slow ass to get to the bus at 10 a.m. You can also buy the desert totem recipe for 10 iridium bars here. I also like to have a farm totem on me so that I can stay as long as possible without passing out. Although passing out in Skull Cavern is a strat as well if you're just trying to get as deep as possible. Passing out in the mines will result in a fine, but you will only lose items if you're killed. Rings can also be very beneficial to helping you out in Skull Cavern. Other than the iridium band, some other helpful rings are the slime charmer ring, which makes the player immune to any and all slimes. This ring is obtained from Gil in the Adventurers Guild after slaying 1,000 slimes. The napalm ring causes enemies to explode upon killing them, which will break rocks in its vicinity, saving you on bombs. The napalm ring is obtained as a reward from Gil after killing 250 serpents. The burglar ring makes it so that monsters have a greater chance of dropping loot. This ring combined with the new Monster Compendium Power Book is a great combo. The burglar's ring can be obtained as a reward from Gil after killing 500 dust sprites. The lucky ring grants +1 luck whenever it's equipped. This ring can be dropped as a special item in Skull Cavern or the Quarry Mine. It also has a small chance of being obtained from panning. You can also combine 2 rings together at the forge so you can have the power of 4 rings in 2 slots. My go-to ring combinations are usually the iridium band and a lucky ring, and the slime charmer ring plus the burglar ring, although I do miss out on the explosions from the napalm ring. If you find yourself struggling to get your hands on the lucky ring, as it is sort of a luck-based thing, there is another way to permanently increase your luck in your save file. If you found secret note number 20 and follow the path, you will find yourself at a truck by Jojamart. Interacting with the truck will allow the player to speak to a truck driver who requests a rabbit's foot. If the player has one in their inventory, they can trade it for a special charm that permanently increases daily luck. Luck is very important for Skull Cavern deep dives, so be sure to check your luck on the TV before committing to a Skull Cavern adventure. The best luck you can get is when the TV says you have good fortune. Second best is a little extra luck. Daily luck has an effect on many different things in the mines, like your chance to discover ladders and holes. What the f was that one tweet? This just reminded me of this tweet. Mining in Skull Caverns in Stardew Valley is so embarrassing because, like, why am I so desperate for hole? Oh my god. Anyways, luck also affects your chances of finding treasure rooms in Skull Cavern and so on. Once you've gathered all your necessary things and find yourself on a good luck day, your next step is to order your toolbar in the most efficient way possible. This will differ from person to person, but here's how I like to do mine. First of all, the only tools you should have on you are your pickaxe and your sword. I keep those in my first 2 slots. I put my regular bombs in the 3rd slot, cheese in the next, then cherry bombs, then my snack food, then mega bombs if you have them. In the next rows, I put things that I don't want to accidentally click on or don't use as often. I put my staircases in the slot directly below my sword. That way I can switch to my staircases very easily during an emergency combat situation. In the 3rd row, I put my totems all the way to the right side of the hotbar, next to my spicy eels and triple shot espressos. You can also bring along some gems for some quick trades at the desert trader before you go in the mines. And now that we're all organized, we're ready to go. Once you've warped to the desert, your first step is to make your trades if you need them, then head on over to the mines. And now that we've made it to the action, let's talk about my tips for survival in Skull Cavern. Before heading in, make sure you eat a spicy eel and chug a triple shot espresso to boost your speed and luck. When in Skull Cavern, I rarely use my pickaxe. Only bombs, bombs, and more bombs. They're bombs. Sometimes you will end up bombing yourself, but don't freak out. Bombs really don't do that much damage to you, so sometimes it's just a sacrifice you have to make. Just be sure to keep an eye on your health bar to not let it go down too low. Plus, the dwarf sells a power book that makes bombs deal less damage to you, so that's a great thing to have in your arsenal as well. When going for a deep dive, always prioritize speed over loot. Don't stop in one spot for too long. It's best to keep moving as much as you can. As soon as you see a ladder or a hole, use it, even if you're leaving loot behind, because the deeper you go, the better the loot will get. So don't get too greedy early on because you'll get better stuff later. If you have an abundance of staircases, you can also just use a ton of them right off the bat to get a head start on the good loot. The speed from your food buffs will also help you to outrun monsters like mummies, ghosts, slimes, etc. I only fight monsters if it's unavoidable, like those pesky serpents. At first, serpents are probably one of the scariest monsters in these mines. They come in quick and could take a very good chunk of your health. Try Gotta keep in mind that the serpents have a very large hitbox, so you can hit them with your sword further than you probably think. Another enemy to look out for are the iridium bats. These bad boys pack a punch if they hit you, so make sure you have your cheese ready around those guys. Be sure to keep an eye on your buff timers as well. It can be very easy to just forget to re-up on those once they run out. If you feel like you aren't outrunning monsters as fast anymore, it's probably time to drink another coffee or eat another spicy eel. There are certain levels in Skull Cavern that I always use a staircase for. 1, if it's an infested level, and 2, if it's a spiral level. These levels usually eat up a lot of time, so I just peace out as soon as I see them. There is a certain level layout that always has an open ladder at the east side. Levels that look like this with a long railroad headed all the way to the right side of the screen will always have an open ladder on the other end, even if the level is infested. So when you see these levels, just run all the way to the other side and head straight down. Also, if a level is just simply taking too long to spawn another ladder or hole, just use a staircase. If you're trying to get to level 100 for the first time, if you use 10 or less staircases, you will not get in trouble with Mr. Key for using staircases. But if you use more than 10, he will call you out for it. When you come across a hole, always jump in. These shafts will drop you anywhere from 3 to 15 floors. Jumping down the shafts causes health damage equal to 3 times the number of floors skipped. Although jumping down a shaft will never reduce your health to less than 1. So it can't actually kill you, but it can almost kill you. So just be sure to eat something right after taking the leap. There are a few new additions in the Stardew Valley 1.6 update that can help out immensely in Skull Cavern. More specifically, most of these new additions all come from the new Mastery Cave and Cindersap Forest. If you want an in-depth explanation of this cave, I have a video on my channel where I do exactly that, so feel free to check that one out after this one. There are 3 rewards from this cave that can aid you in your Skull Cavern runs. First, trinkets. Another box for my trinkets. Trinkets are equipable items that can be found after combat mastery is claimed. Each one of them gives the player unique benefits. If you're feeling confident in your combat skills and need a good chunk of cash, using Monster Musk and a level 4 parrot can result in tens of thousands of gold in one dive. Another very useful trinket for staying alive in Skull Cavern is the fairy box. The fairy will heal you in combat situations, making it so you rarely ever have to eat food for health in the mines. The frequency and amount of health regained depends on the fairy's level, which ranges from 1 to 5. Next, let's talk about the statue of the Dwarf King recipe you get from claiming mining mastery. Every day, the statue will offer 2 of its 5 available powers for the players to choose from. The power you choose lasts for the duration of the in-game day. And finally, claiming farming mastery will be your 3rd and last choice to help you in the caverns. Farming mastery will give you the recipe to craft the Statue of Blessings. This statue grants a random blessing to the player every day upon touching it. For Skull Cavern runs, you'll want to be granted either the blessing of luck, speed, or critical strike chance. The blessing of luck and speed are helpful for obvious reasons, so I won't bore you with an explanation, but the underdog buff to look out for with the Statue of Blessings are the Blessing of Fangs, which increases your chance of critical strikes in combat. This buff, plus a weapon forged with an aquamarine to increase crit chance even more, plus a golden spur trinket that gives you speed boost after critical strikes, equals a very speedy Skull Cavern run. And aside from the Mastery Cave, there is another new item that was introduced in the 1.6 update that can help you get a very early start on your Skull Cavern trips. That item being the tent kit. The tent kit is a craftable item that allows the player to construct a tent to sleep in. Although it cannot be used inside the mines, it can be used right outside Skull Cavern in the desert. Using a tent kit at the desert the night before a run can give you a full day's worth of Skull Cavern time, although you will be testing your luck when it comes to your daily luck. So you might want to also bring a TV with you just to verify your luck before entering. And that, my friends, are all of the Skull Cavern tips and strategies that I've compiled for this video. Do you have any tips that I didn't mention today? Please feel free to leave them in the comments down below so we can all help each other out. If you found this video helpful at all, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're not already for more Stardew Valley content. I live stream Stardew Valley Let's Plays here on YouTube weekly, and I would love to see you there one day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!